I am going to be testing water duration frequency, and excuse the bright lights, but I'm kind of sitting right underneath one of the grow lights here getting a tan maybe, I don't know. The duration that I'm going to experiment with is my standard Dutch bucket grow that I have back there. That one waters 3 times a day, 4 hours apart for 30 minutes each. So I'm going to leave the one pail on the left side doing exactly that. It's going to keep that same watering cycle, whereas the right pail, I'm just going to water it once. I want to see if I make an extreme difference or change, how much it affects the plant growth, or if it affects it at all. The pail on the right hand side, I'm just going to water once in the morning at 8 o'clock for 30 minutes, and that'll be it for the rest of the day. What I did differently this time around is the first 2 cups, they're winter field peas, just because I like they seem to be very consistent, or pickier maybe is a better word. They're a little fussier as far as any change I make seems to affect them the most, if that makes any sense. In the back 2 cups is going to be the trusty old Daikon radishes, because I've got a pretty good baseline on how they perform. Before I started this experiment off, both pails got 3 gallons of reverse osmosis water. The nutrient solution I'm going to be using is General Hydroponics. Both got the same amount of nutrients, which was 15 mLs total of each, the Flora Micro and the Bloom. 3 milliliters of pH up brought it right to 6.0. And the closest I've ever got, actually, for PPM between the 2 pails, 629 on the left, 630 on the right. So my measuring skills maybe are getting better. To make sure the watering duration is exactly what I want it to be, I'm going to set that up in Habitat. And Habitat's going to be my automation that's going to look after the irrigation cycle. It looks after everything in this room, so it's reliable and it works, so we're just going to keep going with that. Next up here, we'll get the time-lapse of the whole thing growing, and then after that we can get the evaluation of the results. Unfortunately for us, plants grow slowly, so that's probably going to be 4 or 5 weeks from the time I'm making this video right here. So we'll see you back then. So that's the results of the AB water test comparison between the 2. Pail on the right side, that one is the A pail. This one is the B pail. The B pail only got watered once a day at 8 in the morning, and the A pail got watered like the rest of my Dutch bucket grow, which is 3 times a day for 30 minutes in a shot. I'm going to go ahead and pull those plants out, and we'll take a look at the roots. So there's the results. A is on the left, B is on the right. And I would say the plants on the right-hand side here, the B pail, they look quite a bit healthier to me than the A side. It also looks like they might have a little bit more root growth as well. So I'm going to say for both of the winter field peas, looks like the B side, I would call that the winner. Here's a side-by-side of the Daikon radishes. A side is on the left, B side is on the right. And with this one, I'm thinking it's a pretty clear winner on the left side. The A side definitely likes more water. There's no comparison in the root size. I'll go ahead and pull them out so we can actually see the fruiting part of the root. As you can see out of the cups, there is no comparison here. The A side definitely is seriously beating out the B side. So for Daikon radishes, clearly they like a whole heck of a lot more water, and that is the winner. Next up, I'm going to take the pH and PPM measurements of both of the pails, and we'll see where that ended up. Looks like the A side finished out with 189 ppm, and the B side with a 347. Wow, that's a massive difference between nutrient uptake. And the pH of the A side looks like it finished off at somewhere between between a 6.5 and a 7. And the B side finished off somewhere between a 6 and a 6.5. So what did I learn on this one? I guess it depends on what plant you're going to grow as to what watering frequency you're going to need. I mean, short of experimenting with your own plants, I honestly don't know if there's a cut and dried win or loss to this one. Unfortunately, it wasn't clear cut, but that's often the case I find with growing. Peas tend to like it a little bit less with the watering frequency, whereas the Daikon radishes clearly benefited massively from it.